Recording. Okay, now we're recording. All right, share screen. All right, so right here I have in, let me go back to, I'm going to show you where this is. This is week 2 learning module. And so under that, I've put in all of our stuff. Like I've got like our, our class that we went over right here on Monday. I put everything in that folder. Okay. We talked about esports, that whole thing. I put that in there. And so this is some information that I want to include because we are going to be writing some sports articles. So this is from the book. The sports reporting, that's part of our course. And this is a little something I want you to look over, and it's about how prepare, how can you write, getting started. Here is something covering sports. I want you to read over this. I want you to sports interview, talk about that. And one of the first topics, so a couple things I want to do today is want to talk about interviewing athletes and what makes a good interview. And then I asked you, I hope you got my email, I asked you to bring an article or bring a topic or a video or something like that as part of our discussion, and I'm going to let you present. Let's see. So let me back out of this. I'm just showing you where this is because I want you to read that, okay? So, and then let me show you real quick. Your assignment this week is a lot of what we're doing this semester is we have a discussion forum, and we're here, we're talking, we're pretty much creating almost like our own talk show by talking about different topics in sports. And so this is going to be your assignment for this week. I want you to write a reflection. I want you to reflect on the topics that we covered this week. It could be anything, and write about your thoughts and why you feel that way. Can you provide, write something thoughtful about a topic. Pick something. You can go back and look through our Zoom meetings, and then respond to 2 of your classmates. And that's going to be due at midnight.
Midnight when?
Sunday.
Make your computer
Okay.
easier.
Tonight?
No, Sunday.
I was gonna say.
Any questions on that?
Okay, well, that wasn't gonna get done.
That's going to be your weekly assignment for right now. This is what we're doing.
And when you said this is due next week,
Sunday night.
Sunday at midnight.
Sunday,
look,
Jim, you do not listen.
So,
You do not listen, Jim.
I'm asking because we seniors and we gotta be on top of everything.
She said Sunday at midnight.
Hey,
and it was on the screen if you was looking.
listen,
Jalen, we literally all just wrote
I'm gonna
300
make
words
it
in an hour.
I'm gonna
30
go
minutes.
mute and be quiet.
We could do 120.
How many in your class are seniors?
Everybody.
Me.
I think everybody in it.
Kayla might not be, but maybe when it comes to credit, she is.
Okay. All right.
Okay, yeah, Kayla.
I need to know about that so I know to get your. Anybody graduating this semester? Okay. All right. Yeah, we need to ask that. All right. So let's just talk for. Oh gosh, there's my tea going all over the place. Let's talk about a little bit about interviewing athletes. That's a question that I always ask. It's easy. I'm going to start on a funny note. Kind of funny. Sometimes people can get so googly-eyed, starry-eyed with a celebrity, or a sports person, and sometimes it impedes your ability to interview the person in an objective way. I know some I used in Minneapolis, I knew some girls that just dated all athletes, and they're trying to get their phone number, all that kind of stuff. That's never a professional thing to do. I'm telling you some of the not do's. Let's see. Let's say you get an interview with, I don't know, name an athlete. Just name somebody off the bat. Jalen, name me an athlete.
Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods. All right. Let's say we got Tiger Woods. You've got an interview with Tiger Woods, and say you've got 20 minutes with him. What would you do? What's some of the things you would do if you were going to be doing that?
Like some of the questions you ask.
We can
How
like
Would
so
you,
like
would you
divide
be
it up into
prepared?
like
Would you just show up? I mean, my boss in Minneapolis, he's got a whole different style, but you guys are beginning in your career. My boss, he will walk into a studio with his cup of coffee or whatever, sit down, and he's ready to go. But he's been doing this for 30 years. He's got, and I'll give him some notes, and he can run a whole interview, and it's a very thoughtful and depth interview. But when you're just starting out your career, that's really the wrong way to do it. That's the way to not do it. Okay. So let's say you're going to interview, you've got a big interview. How are you going to get ready? How are you going to, what's the first thing you got to do? What would you do?
I will pick out what questions I want to ask, and try not to ask questions that everybody asks.
That's a good one. Don't try to ask something a little different, like something to get him off his game. A lot of
You might wanna.
don't focus.
athletes, they get asked the same old question over and over again, and they
When-
develop what I call the speech.
I
Also,
guess
try
you
not
could
to ask
focus
yes or no
on
questions.
focus on their game or whatever. Cause like if you was to interview Tiger Woods, he done been in a lot of scandals. Don't focus on that. Just focus on the game, so he won't feel like you're trying to be
You might.
invasive.
I mean, you can dig a little deeper and you can dive into like where he's stand with like the social injustice.
All right.
No, I'm talking about the scandals
So we
Tiger
still
Woods
haven't
in
hit
there.
the answer
Right.
I'm looking for, though. Let's back up a little bit more. I want you to
What they
back
got to do
up.
with social
Let's
justice?
say it's about
Don't.
2 or 3
I'm
days
saying be
before-
more broad. Don't just be.
Watch. Let's say it's 2 or 3 days before that interview. What should you be doing?
Researching off the person.
Research.
Cameron?
You don't make sure you got the right stats on them, and then I didn't see some interviews where people ask, they get like the people confused. So like
Oh my
just
God.
know your facts before
It look like a real dum-dum, doesn't it?
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, when we had Santiago here, you could tell he I don't know if he actually does. I'm sure he does. Like he knows who he's interviewing, and he knows what they're going to say before he asks it. And he asks the question in a way to help direct the story. He's helping them tell their story by the questions he asks. You know what I'm saying? So like he's getting on there and he's researching everything. And I mean, like for me, I've done a lot of politics. You know that about me. So I had somebody who was the attorney general, whatever, for the Bush administration, and I could have asked him all those elevator speech kind of questions, but I found out there was some things he did that wasn't so great. So on that talk show, it made it interesting because he had explained himself for some things, some indiscretions that he had. And I did that because I found him in the research, and that he was frequent MSNBC person. I'm giving you that as an example. So, you need to find out what an athlete's stats is. What does he stand for? Like, give me the guy that took the knee, Kaepernick.
Kaepernick.
Yeah, Kaepernick.
Now, this would be an amazing interview. He's been interviewed lots, but wouldn't you want to know him kind of on a deeper level too? Like, was his moral conscience? Did he know that this was going to happen? That if he did take a knee, that this was going to be what is going to happen to his career, and was he okay with that? Or, when you're interviewing somebody, you got to be able to lead them into that though, and not like, you ever like, just free flowing here. I mean, did anybody ever ask you some question that was just off the wall that just shocked you, and you're like, "What?"
Yeah.
Mhm.
You were like, "Oh God, I wasn't ready for that one." And it's like, I don't think you want to do that. You want to just and one of the things in my old show you would do is when you're getting ready to interview is you do a pre-interview with them. That's also another thing is most people. What's a pre-interview?
That's just what establishing the tone of the interview. Kind of maybe tell them what questions you may or may not ask, and I guess make them comfortable with the interview
Yep, you
beforehand.
gotta warm them up. Now, as a producer, I do a lot of pre-interviews with before they make it to the show in that situation. So, say I might find someone interesting. Let's say I might think Demetrius is interesting person that I like what he's done in his athletic career, and but if I don't know everything about him and I just throw him at the host, I might be regretting that, you know. So I'm going to call him up or email him and say, hey, can we talk for a little bit? Then I'm going to find out more about him, and I'm going to say, tell me a little bit more and let him talk as much. You want get him talking and find out some of his details, and then I'm sorry, I'm falling off the couch here. And then I go and I find out more about him. I look up what he's telling me. I usually try to verify a lot of things, like a lot of things that go out, because it's a lot of kind of being a detective in a way. You want to know as much as you can before you ever go into an interview. Okay, you guys talk. Keep going.
I was just listening.
I mean, you already said the main points. I mean,
Okay. What are some other things that would make a good interview, though?
You can try to it's this one sports reporter that I watch, Taylor Rooks, and I really like watching her interviews because they're not just like a sit down interview. Like she's actually doing things that the athletes like to do, like to get them in a comfortable scenario. So her interviews are more like conversations rather than like quote unquote sit down interviews.
Yeah. Like, have you ever seen a stiff looking interview? You know, like somebody's practically reading the question, like, Jalen, when you were playing that softball game, I don't know, think of some question.
We can't hear you, Jalen.
Well, you mute.
I'm always picking on Jalen.
I'm just listening right now. Go ahead.
I love how that room's all lit and green and stuff, man. That's cool.
Thank
He's so dry.
Daryl, what's up? I want to see you. Are you decent? Could you have video with?
He might not be decent.
That's okay. So, Danny, are you here?
you. I'm just.
Turn on your video. Okay. Courtney, hi. I'm glad you're here. Today we're talking about interviewing athletes. All right. Anything else we can think about? Be prepared. Pre-interview the athlete. Get them to talk as much as possible.
I think you can be prepared to have to switch up your questions if the athlete don't feel comfortable answering it. Like, say you was interviewing LeBron or something right now, and you was to ask him how did he feel affected still by the COVID situation. If he be pass, and all your questions was based around that, then you have nothing.
I try to avoid that with the pre-interview. That's one of the reasons why you should pre-interview everybody you can. Some people you can't; they're too busy. You can't do it. But if you can at least get a phone conversation with them, then you could feel him out. If that's something you want to ask, you can avoid that. Because sometimes if somebody says pass or no comment, that happens. But I try to avoid that. you know, it depends, because some people don't want to ask anything controversial. Depends on what your program's about. So that, like I said, one of the touchiest interviews I've ever been as a producer. I wasn't the host of the show, but behind the scenes, I did interview him, and my question was about the Bush administration and some things that weren't very immoral things that he had done. And his response was, he had like a one sentence instead of saying pass or no, and then he reflected back to he was a political campaign. He went boom, he shot it. So a lot of these people are used to interviewing, and there are times when it depends on the interview and it depends on the situation sometimes that you need to keep pressing on, but you need to figure out how to stay fluid and keep it going. And you know, I love, like I said, I'm just going back to Santiago. I love his energy because he's so, bring it up. He's almost hyper, like, yeah, you know, a lot of these sports guys are like that, you know, and that's the difference in sports and in, say, politics, you know. Anyway, all right, so we're going to spend a few more minutes on this topic. Do you feel like you feel pretty good about the interview and all that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
All right.
ma'am.
All right, so the next topic, let me go find this real quick. YouTube, and you know, I've got issues on Blackboard, and then I have issues with YouTube. I went into YouTube, and where are we? I went to YouTube, and YouTube whacked me because I used a Jimmy Fallon video in one of my classes, and I think they took it and said, you have copyright issues. And I'm like, oh, you kidding people. All right, post-game action, esports. Okay, fill in the board. All right, so I saw this and I thought this was interesting. Is anybody watching the NBA?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Sean wants to say something now.
It's on right now.
Watching
It's on
the
right now.
NBA? Okay, so I'm going
It's a game on, but it's on NBA TV, I think.
I thought so. They low-key did them dirty.
Hold on.
All the
What
other games
happened?
won't be on TNT.
All right,
Okay.
so I'm gonna share screen.
Don't get me
Okay.
started with this today.
All right, so I just saw this and thought of you guys post game.
What? Right.
So this is an interview.
All right, thank you very much, David. Markel, come on. What a win here this afternoon. How are you able to do it? Take us through your emotions right now after that terrific win today.
We're taking it one game at a time. We all believe, we had to come out and, give a good fight, load up on Giannis and Bledsoe, they live in the paint. They do a great job getting in the paint, and, they're unselfish as well. So we had to run them off the line. We had to play a team game today. I think everybody stepped up and came together.
Markel, there's a calm and a confidence about this group right now. You guys didn't overreact. Everyone seems like this is exactly what you expected. What was your mentality going into this? What did you talk about? How did you play such a complete game?
We know they're a great team, but we know we got a chance at any game we play in. So one is just believing. That's the biggest thing. And then just coaches did a great job of just giving us the game plan. And I think everybody did a good job of just locking in, coming together, playing together. That's what it's going to take every game. We got to take it one game at a time. We got one down. Now we got to get ready for the next one.
I love that mentality. That's just one, but it's a big one. Your first playoff start, what were your emotions going into this one today? You're so calm and collected. You don't seem like you get rattled at all. What were your emotions going into this one?
I'm just excited, just to have this opportunity to be in the playoffs, I want to take advantage of it. So just coming in, just playing my game. I know the way they're going to play. They're going to try to go under, taking my shots when I can get them, but also being a playmaker and trying to be effective on both ends of the floor and the defensive end too. So came out and just played my game.
All right, lastly, I got to know how it was playing out there with the big fella. Unbelievable performance out of Nick Vucevic. Your best player played his best game.
Man, that's what we're going to need every night, and we talk to him a lot. We know we're going to get open shots. Whether you're making or missing them, you got to keep shooting them. Again, we did a great job of just getting our reps in practice, knowing we're going to get a lot of open threes, and he was knocking them down. That's what we're going to need every night.
Markel, you got a lot of excited Magic fans after that first game. Congrats on game one, and look forward to game 2 on Thursday.
Thank you so much.
All right, you can.
Okay, So, who's done? Yeah. Okay. So that's just an example of an interview. I couldn't hear it too good. I'm sorry if you couldn't hear it. You know, one thing you can notice about sports interviews is it's built on emotion. You know, to get you excited, right? How did you feel about when you shot? What did he say? Shot this, that. What's your reaction to this? Who's watching the NBA right now? What's happening?
The Lakers lost.
You said they got a game Thursday?
Jalen, go ahead.
Say it.
Like as of right now, what's going on in the league?
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. What's interesting about in COVID right now?
They're in the bubble. Not fans, no family, no home court advantage. It kind of does play a factor with teams performing. Some players show up, some players emerge to step up their game, do what they got to do. The big talk is Damian Lillard, him being the best player in the bubble right now, averaging 51 points. Well, it's probably going to go down to like 47 since he dropped 34 last night.
So this fellow they're talking, tell me about this athlete because he seems really young. Like he could be one of our students here or something, you know.
Lillard has been in the league since what? 20?
I think you're talking about the interview that
Markelle Fultz.
We're talking about Markelle Fultz.
Right? So Magic, he's an Atlantic.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the thing
Fultz is only like 22.
Yeah, so Markelle Fultz, he was a former #1 overall draft pick. He went to Philadelphia. We thought that he would be a good fit with Joel Embiid since Joel Embiid was hurt. And coming to find out, he was going through a little slump through his first few years at Philadelphia. Went to a therapist, tried to get help with his jump shot. Then they released him, and Orlando signed him, I believe, that was 2 years ago, Taylor?
2 years ago.
Okay, so about 2 years ago, they signed him. And his jump shot, his percentages has improved with Orlando now that he's with a young veteran star with Vucevic, who's a center, and now they made the playoffs for the second straight year, and they beat #1 overall seeded team in the playoffs, and they're up one game.
You know a lot about sports, and that pays off to like know his background because when they go to interview him, they can really dig in. Anybody else? Renaya, you have some comments on that?
I don't know. I'm just listening at the time.
I think Markelle Fultz, I forgot what the disease is called, but he has this, I think it's some neurological disease where he would make certain movements and he would like twitch, and you have to like John said, get therapy for it. Because sometimes I would watch videos of him like shooting a jumper and his whole body would twitch, and it would just mess up his whole shot.
Oh wow!
So he had thoracic outlet syndrome. That's what it's called.
Wow.
Say it again.
Yeah, I just can't remember what it was called, but yeah, I knew he had that.
Syndrome affects area between lower neck and upper chest.
Now here's a thought that just come to me: is we are living in internet days. And there's Twitter, there's social media, and all kinds of things. I mean, here's another input. When I find somebody, this guy's interesting. He has challenges, and he's playing sports and overcoming things, and he's doing great things. I would go find him. He's probably got a social media account. He's probably got something another. And I usually send him a little note. Hey, I'm a student at SU, and I'm in a class of sports. I would love to interview you. Blah blah. You never know. He might see you and go, well, yeah, I would love to do an interview with you. And bam, you've got something that's that's professional on your blog. I would go find people that you find interesting.
Good.
And definitely, you know his background. This is an interesting player to interview.
Wait, who said that? That was you, Sean?
That was me.
That was not Sean.
Oh, that was Isaiah.
That was Isaiah?
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounded like Lucy.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm just giving the example. That's kind of like, that's how I find people actually, is I'll see something, I'll see an interview, something on social media, and then they catch my curiosity. And then I start digging more, and then I go trying to figure out how I can find them. And then right now with Zoom and everything, you can do an interview. It's very doable. It's more, I mean, you've got to just think outside the box when you go for, who you want to talk to, and that makes a better interview.
True.
Makes something more interesting. All right, let's go for the next thing here. Let me find that I found.
All right.
Post game.
So are they having an NFL season? To y'all that watch football?
Yes.
How are they
Yes.
doing it? Are they gonna have like a bubble type of simulation too?
They
No,
can't.
it's too big. They're way too big.
Yeah, I'm gonna say they can't do that.
Some teams aren't allowing any.
We had a breakthrough with the Volkswagen. We
They
did.
did
Hold on.
like their agents getting all their
To
social
be
media.
honest, they shouldn't even have
Say
a
that
college
again?
football season if you're being honest.
No, some teams aren't allowing any spectators for like the first month.
Yeah.
For some
What
teams, are
about
letting
fans?
20% occupancy.
I think it's stupid for them to have the four.
Any given night of beating anybody in the NBA. Let's
But
see.
I mean, tickets gonna be jacked up. It's only a little bit of people
Gets the
can
first
come.
bucket of the game, 30 and 14 a game.
And this is
The
just
only
a-
player
It's crashing.
being the top 5 in both points and rebounds. His first look is a 3, and it didn't look bad.
The Magic, I tell you what, I'd like to see more of that if you want to have a chance in this game.
Great take. The big guard, Markel Fultz, averaged 20 a game last year, was only 11 in the playoffs, though, against Toronto.
I get.
Nick on the run out and the mid-range game. Give and go off the pick. It'll be Ennis. He's got the triple. And they were a clean team for the most part during the regular season. Antetokounmpo on the spin and the hammer. Oh, my goodness. Yes. And both teams shooting lights out for the most part. Orlando right now, 5 of 6. Make it 6 of 7. The mid-range game. Vucevic, Islam creates another takeaway, and all those turnovers. That's 4 out of the last 5 possessions. Nick Vucevic.
And that's, again, you have to find things like that if you're the Magic. That you're not going to out-talent this Bucks team.
6-0 run right now for Milwaukee. DiVincenzo sharing it with George Hill, and it pays off.
Is because of the impact of Giannis, but you've seen it with this second unit. They do a great job of allowing their offense to create offense. Not just got to have that ability to knock them down consistently.
4 of the 5 starters still out there, like Markel Fultz in the middle. You're right. The confidence growing, picked up and going the other way is Wesley Owundo. Good wing for them. Very athletic young man. He got contact, and he's going to the line. And on the shot clock, final minute of a real good start for Orlando. Terrence Ross, the veteran, the 32-year-old DJ Augustine, and a good drive and kick for Nick Vucevic. He's got it.
But again, what different lineup, different dynamic can throw you off kilter if you're the Bucks, and I think that's what we've seen so far early in this game.
They were 24th in the league in scoring before the restart. You saw the significant improvement. Chris Middleton. Now in the second year of a big deal with Milwaukee Bucks, Owundo taking advantage of Kyle Korver with a crossover out front, shooting 55%. Fournier hit half his threes against them this past year. Ennis from
Importantly, their defense has really stepped up.
Vucevic already in double figures. Take him to 14 with that. That was a slick move with the left hand last year. An 11-2 run now in a shocking 18-point game. Make it 16. It's not his game at this point of his career. On the run. Boy, they walled off Giannis, didn't they?
But he made the right. But that's 2 straight turnovers, too. So after doing such a good job early on, they're going to get a block. They had their struggles here the last few minutes offensively.
Giannis will get there and follow his own. That's Pat Nichols, the GM of Orlando now.
Okay, let's jump out of that. Okay. I hope some of you didn't go to sleep with that or anything. Okay, so first of all, I have a curious question that you may know. How is these sports teams playing with COVID right now? That's a question. that you can inquire about? Are they in lockdown? Like, are they the team in lockdown? I mean, are they not going home to their family and stuff during the season?
I mean, only sports organization that has been like really strict is the NBA. The NBA is the only team that has like, first of all, the NBA is one of the smaller leagues, so it can say, okay, we're gonna have everybody here on campus. Even Major League Baseball, they're trying, but I mean, besides when they first started and the Marlins had like 16 people that had it, after that, they got really strict about, who's coming into the facilities. But I mean, those players are still going home, so that's still a risk. But testing for professional athletes is not like how they're testing regular people. Athletes are getting their results back in the day, and they're doing saliva tests instead of doing like sticking it all the way up your nose. So I mean, the advancement with testing for athletes is way better than it is for regular people. So I think that's how they are keeping the numbers down. But I don't know.
But you don't know if you have it until you have it. I mean, it's not like, I don't
But
know.
I think if they test everybody all the time and they're not really leaving, they ain't just gonna fall out of thin air.
Does anybody know if there's any athletes that's been diagnosed with COVID?
It was a lot
Like
when
before this.
Rudy Gobert was, Donovan Mitchell was.
KD had
Russell Wilson. I think Kyrie Irving too.
I think so too.
Yeah, a lot of players have had it, whether it's in the NBA or not.
coaches have
But
had it.
But you
coaches
also
have had it,
take
yeah.
it to the WNBA too, because they're also in a bubble format like the NBA, and they don't.
Yeah.
Have
Exactly.
I know. Clemson football team had 36.
Oh, yeah.
You're talking about players, you're talking about coaches, you're talking about referees, you're talking about support staff,
Trainers.
Trainers. I mean, all these people in contact with each other. That's a lot. And I heard the Twins are playing, and I guess the MFL is getting ready to play. Right? They're starting their season.
Yeah, but those are smaller teams, so it's easier to control. But with football, you having 60 to 75 people on your roster, that's at your practice facilities. And then those people are going home, and they're around multiple people, so there's no way to really. That's why doctors are saying there shouldn't be a football season this fall. But the NCAA decided to let it be
Okay, I got a
decided to
question.
conferences.
Yeah. Good night.
Where was the Seahawks at when this whole thing happened? Like, what hotel? What was they doing when a guy got kicked off the team? Where was they at? Trying to sneak a girl in the hotel? I guess the team hotel. And they kicked. Like, what was they doing?
But I mean, you don't know because
No, that didn't answer the question. I said what was the team doing? Like, what are they practicing? And that's the hotel they got to stay at. Like,
Yeah,
what was they doing?
they're spring training or camp.
Oh, okay.
They're at camp right now. They're at camp.
Probably training camp.
Training
Yeah.
camp.
Okay, they usually keep them in a hotel, or is that just for like COVID?
They usually keep them, especially rookies.
Okay.
Like
Actually, usually they do keep them on campus because their training camps are not always in the city they play in. Like the Panthers play in Spartanburg, and that's like an hour from Charlotte. And Dallas doesn't play in Dallas, I don't think. And if they do play in Dallas, they play like on the other side of Dallas. But it's like most professional teams don't play training camp
where they practice
in their city. Yeah, But when they practice during the season, they practice in Charlotte or whatever, or like New York or whatever. But training camp is different.
Yeah. So interesting. Okay, so that was just a highlights reel, and it was a game last night. Does anybody follow these teams, Orlando and Milwaukee?
Not really.
Not really.
Just Lakers.
Not those two teams.
Not those two teams. I keep it with Giannis though.
I mean,
if they lose, Giannis is leaving Milwaukee.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
No.
How about to start this? No.
I don't know.
Come on. Where you gonna go?
I don't know where he gonna go, but he gonna leave. They're gonna have to bring a big name in. He is not gonna stay. Okay. Please.
And,
But if the Lakers lose in the
other
first round,
thing-
that's
I
devastating.
forgot.
That's devastating.
It is.
They're not gonna lose though.
If they do, I don't care. This is their only shot. They gotta win this year. Gotta win it this year.
So as far as the viewers right now, that's what I was thinking. You know, they're probably at 50% capacity right now. So that's still a thing. I mean, it's still, I still wonder how safe even that is to have people sitting in the arena with half capacity.
Wait, who you talking about?
I'm looking at this game here, the Orlando Magic and Milwaukee.
That's
Bucks.
not people.
That's not like real people. It's like virtual.
Yeah.
Those are so it's like people are
No, but
watching.
they got like they're training people there, but that's not.
It's
those
only
not
trainers,
fans.
reporters, and athletes there. No fans are there.
All
The
right,
coaching
all right.
staff
I
and
think
the
it looks
coaching
like people
staff
there.
and the TV crew and all that. That's the
And
only
then they make the bench 6 feet apart too, so it looks like it's more people there than what it really is.
All right. So who brought sports to present today? I'm sorry, I ran my mouth a lot today. Who
I
brought
gotta look at my
You
blackboard and see what I put up.
Well, I just I got an article.
Let me go.
This was submitted to Blackboard.
I got
The one we had did. This was like a couple days ago though.
Are you talking about the assignment that was due last week?
Let's see. Or just bring something to the discussion. That was the announcement. I just did that kind of informally.
okay.
My article.
I got something.
You can go first.
Yeah, put it on the chat and I'll bring it up. Give me a link.
How you? Oh,
How you do all that?
yeah. That's how you do that.
I'll not do all that.
I didn't even know we had a chat.
Friends, okay?
Oh yes,
All right,
y'all
go
say
down-
chat, y'all.
Go down to where you see chat here. and
Oh my
put
god,
the
that is crazy.
link, And I'll bring it
Okay,
up.
how do you record on
Who
Zoom?
said yo? Oh.
You. There you go.
I feel like why is we speaking to each other and we looking at each other?
All right, then put something. Just put it. Yeah, put your link to article.
That is too.
I'm in class.
All right.
Okay, hold up. Put it on.
And I'll put it up and
Let
then
me
you can
see.
present it and discuss it.
Okay. Oh wow, I didn't really read mine.
All right, I just sent mine in because I'm quicker than all y'all.
Shut up.
Okay, because he was racist.
This isn't the same link of the article, but it's the same topic.
Okay, I'll bring it up and then you can hold on, discuss it.
Cool.
All right, go for it. Tell us about it. You want to play the clip?
Pretty much. No, it's just I don't even know what that video is. But it's pretty much just like I said, that's not the article I use, but pretty much the two most known college football athletes are pretty vocal about them having seasons, like with one being Trevor Lawrence and the other being Justin Fields. And in my opinion, I think it's not fair to the rest of NCAA football. There's literally only 2 conferences out of the 3 divisions plays football, but everybody else can't. Like everybody else has made the decision to either like JUCO football, they're playing football in the spring. Everybody else that's FBS or FCS for the most part is canceled. The only conference that wants to play is the SEC and the ACC. And college players or college coaches and just like college fans are, oh well, they can just have a college football playoff with those teams, which is completely unfair because the freshmen that got full scholarships are pretty much having to wait another year to play, while these other freshmen from a different school get to play. And like I said, like if everybody's not going to play, I don't understand why. Just because you go to the SEC, which is probably inarguably the best conference in college football, and the ACC, which is nowhere near close to the SEC, but we all know what's probably going to happen. If the ACC and the SEC decide to play and there's still a college football playoff, it's just going to be Clemson and whatever SEC team, like probably like LSU again, Georgia, or maybe like Alabama. But it's just I just think they just shouldn't play. Like I said, if all FBS teams would have decided to play, yeah, that would have been fine. But it kind of made me really upset that the MEAC canceled their football season, so I won't be able to see football for my last year as an undergrad. So that's kind of whack, but it's just kind of annoying that basically depending on what school you go to determines whether or not you can play football this year. So and then there's a question, there's like that argument like will be better, but still I just don't think it's fair that like since you go to a Power Five school automatically makes you more privileged than somebody that could be better than you on a that's a 5-star or that's a star at an FCS school. Like some people would say I'd rather be a star at an FCS school than a bench player on an FBS team because there's plenty of FCS players that have an opportunity to play professionally that don't get their last year to play, but these fourth string, third string FBS players that are playing in the SEC, ACC have a chance to play for no reason, and then like just literally like none at all. But yeah, I yield my time.
Yeah, what's your what's your reaction to what he's presenting everybody?
Only thing I have to say about it is the fact that the two conferences that are trying to have school, those programs will lose hundreds of millions of dollars if they don't have a football season. All of the conferences that did cancel, their schools understand that like they'll be okay without sports making money. Like they'll be okay without their football team making money. Like the MEAC, that's like pretty much all the HBCUs are pretty much like we can survive if we don't have football school. But those big schools, those are really football schools that decide to teach students on the side. If we want to be honest.
Clemson's playing this year, right?
It's kind of weird because
yeah, they are.
You got one side of the spectrum of doctors saying it's not okay to play football, and then you got another side of the spectrum to say, oh, it's okay to play football during the pandemic. So it's like,
who do you believe?
Where's the merge at? Like, because we in the middle of a pandemic. People are still going to get sick. People still going to die. You can easily catch the virus anywhere.
Right. So right. My biggest issue with it is that most of these schools they're in session. So my biggest thing is, yeah, obviously the athletes aren't going to like get sick from or get like they'll probably be asymptomatic. But my biggest thing is I'd be really annoyed if all these athletes get it and they're asymptomatic and they pass it on to their professors or a student who might have high blood pressure, diabetes, asthma, and those players kill their classmates just because they didn't take in consideration that not only to their health but the health of other people around them. That's my biggest thing because I knew that's probably gonna happen.
And that's why I'm against the Justin Fields petition. I mean, I get that you want to play. I get that you spent 1 year at Ohio State and trying to build your NFL draft stock, but your life matters.
Right.
Football is going to be here whether you're not here, or, like whether you're here or not. Your life matters and your health matters. That's
and not just yours, everybody else's too.
And then you're putting other people at risk. Like just because you're like you can get the virus and you can come back from it. The person that you're going to give it to may not recover from it. Like it's high amongst people our age, but the survival rate is like 97%. But we give it to people that are in their 30s and up, and their survival rate is like 45%.
Exactly.
Right.
I didn't know that those numbers. That's pretty amazing.
And then it's the thing, like, how come smaller schools, they're like, okay, we're just going to have a spring season. And then, like, the bigger schools are just like, no, we're going to do fall. But then, like, if you have a spring season and then you going into the draft, that's too much contact.
Exactly.
In a year, like, in 1 year.
All right, Renaya, hold on. I have yours up. Share screen.
Hold on, I gotta see what it was talking about.
That's it.
I got it. Your screen. Okay, so winners and losers from the NBA's restarted bubble season before the playoff. This looks interesting. Do you want to play the clip?
I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't watched that video. I kind of read it.
Okay, all right. That's not funny.
I read the article. But we can watch the video.
All right, can anybody tell me where there's usually a sentence in the whole article that like sums up everything? Is that here in this article?
I don't think that's this kind of article. Well, but I guess if you've been watching, you can kind of. You got this was from days ago. Whenever I had submitted it.
Okay.
Oh, that's the wrong edition.
It's kind of old because you told us to submit
Yeah,
this.
I said it's from when I submitted it
Mm-mm.
Yeah, the whole okay, wait a minute. The whole
the
idea
other day.
was for you to come to and if you got my email was for you to come and bring something that to class today to talk about today that you think is a great.
Oh, I ain't get that email. I just pulled this off my Blackboard.
I got you. All right. Well, I'll do better next time. All right. Let me
All right.
see what else we got. Let's move
We
on.
got a class. I got a class at 3:00.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just-
So we're gonna round this
Dang.
up. We got time for like maybe one Sean from one more. Demetrius playoffs. Oh, the NBB play. Oh, the Vikings. Sean, you got Sean Blue. You got the Vikings.
Yeah.
All right, one more. Do it real quick. Hold on. Share screen. Hold on.
Courtney, this bonnet is I don't know what to say.
Don't come for me.
I don't know what to say.
All right, here we go. Dalvin Cook, Vikings break off contract extension talks. All right, now here's another fella right here that would be excellent. Let's look at him real quick. This would be somebody excellent that in social media, if you can find him, get a Zoom meeting with him, that's a good interview.
Absolutely not.
Say what?
Oh,
0 point.
There's just no way. There's just no way.
what he do?
I'm just there's just no way. I would love to do that with him.
I'm
All right,
really.
all right, let's go back and talk about that real quick. All right, so as far
What
as
did it?
interviews,
Oh.
guys, I got to tell you, I've had access to people that I should that in normal world you'd never think you would, but I did, and I was like,
But you got a resume
going,
too.
oh my God, I
so-
have so and so in here, but you got to put your mind in a different set. You know, like they put their pants on one leg at a time, and they are all human beings.
Let's talk about Dalvin Cook. You were out with the
Can
Vikings
we
at
stop
practice.
this video?
Hold on.
It's not as if he's sitting in like Melvin Ingram, but we
Uh-oh.
also pointed out you did
Gee
that
whiz.
they're not going to give him a big workload here because
I hear it, but I don't see it.
All right, hold on.
I don't think she meant to start it.
Oh my.
It seems, Tom, that contract talks have broken off.
That's right, Andrew. We talked yesterday about how this was going to come to a head soon between the Vikings and Dalvin Cook, and that's exactly what happened yesterday. Ian Rappaport and I reporting that contract talks have now broken off between Cook and the Vikings. Now, of course, there's still time until the regular season. Cook said recently he's focused on week one, wants his agent and the team to take as much time as they need. However, as of now, it certainly appears as if Cook is headed toward playing out the last year of his rookie deal with a franchise tag looming in 2021. Running back deals are always complicated. Dalvin Cook from the very start was not going to take any deal that he did not feel was fair and made him one of the higher paid running backs in the NFL. To this point, the Vikings and Cook's agent have not been able to find that middle ground. And so as of now, the talks are off and everybody's
Bottom line, just pay the man.
All right, hold on.
Thank you.
Good Lord. All right, I can't
Give
get
him
back.
his money.
Yeah. Okay, wait a minute. All right, stop sharing. Okay, we back. All right, so that's an excellent. Did I miss something?
Oh.
No, I'm just Sean just made me laugh. I'm like, pay the man. That just
All right, I got
that's just
somebody's
really
got to
funny.
go to class here right now, right? Take off.
Yep.
go to another
Yes.
class.
Yeah, I have another class at 3.
That's like
I
All
do too.
1 minute.
I got you. Okay, 1 minute. All right. So I like that. That was I like that. That's very interesting. But yeah, that's the thought that I'm going to leave you is that that's kind of how some of the best success and some of the most high, I've got access to some of the some really high ranking people is just reach out to them on social media and tell them who you are. And a lot of them love helping somebody out. Say you're a student at HBUC, and a lot of times
We had a what?
I'm dyslexic. You're gonna give me a hard time. Come on now. You know, tell
You
them
stupid
tell
Naya.
them where
You
you go to
stupid
school.
Naya.
And a lot of times,
Naya, leave her alone. Leave her
I'm
alone,
done.
Naya.
I
Come on,
gotta
Naya.
go.
there's a lot of them that will be interested in being part of, and they'll give you an interview, and that's really great for your portfolio and putting into your blog and things like that. You know, So, just do some digging. You never know who you can find. That's what thought I'm going to leave you with as far as interviewing today. Okay?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Any
All
more
right.
thoughts for anybody? Questions, thoughts?
Nope. I'll see you next
Mm-mm.
Monday.
You have a discussion board for us to do or no? No.
Yes,
No.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. There, just
Oh yeah, the reflection.
Oh, okay, the reflection. Okay.
Okay.
Easy.
Mhm.
All righty.
Yep.
See
Yeah,
y'all in
pretty
next
easy.
class.
And then we're going to start working up to, getting our blogs, and we are going to start talking about writing or making something up on our blog and stuff like that. Okay.
Bet.
Mm-hmm.
So what I want you to do in the interim for Monday is I just want you to dig around, because you should be consuming a lot of media and a lot of sports things. And I want you to bring in something else interesting that you find interesting that's happening right now to discuss, and just start digging about people that you think are interesting, that you might be able to interview. See what you can come up with, and we'll talk about it on Monday.
Okay.
I bet. All right.
All
Goodbye.
I really enjoyed it. Bye.
Bye.